Hello everyone, my rage mates, how are you all doing? Here we are again for another deep talk, but this time, it's a bit personal. You know me, I'm frank, no filters, straight to the point. Many of you have been asking, Rages, what do you really look for in a girl? Or, what are your red flags? Well, today is your lucky day, my chica babes and bros, because I'm going to answer that. But instead of what I like, let's talk about what I don't like. Because isn't it easier to know what you don't like, so you know what to avoid? It's like food, you know you don't like bitter melon, so you won't order pinnock bet. Get it? So, I've prepared my list. I thought about it carefully, and maybe you can relate, whether you're a guy or a girl. Maybe the things I don't like, you don't like either. Or maybe, the things I don't like, you're actually doing. Oh no, you're in trouble, just kidding. But seriously, this is based on my experiences, what I've seen, and what I've been through. Nothing personal, just business. Joke. Of course, there's a little bit of personal stuff here, to make it more real, so you can feel the emotion. These are the 10 things I really don't like in a girl. So if you're ready for some gossip with a lesson, come on, let's start this, let's get it on. For those asking why we need to talk about this, it's simple. We need to be honest with ourselves and with the people we want to be with. It can't always be, I love you. Sometimes it has to be, I don't like that. Communication is key, right? So consider this as a public service announcement from yours truly. Maybe through this, some relationships can be saved, or some people can wake up. You never know, right? So hold on tight, you might get triggered, you might laugh, or you might start thinking. Just stick with me until the end. Are your hearts and minds ready? Game on. First on my list, and this is really what I dislike the most, is a girl who flirts with other guys. You know what I mean? You're already together, you have a commitment, and then you'll just find out she's texting, chatting, or even worse, dating someone else. Oh no girl, not me. Why? Because, for me, flirting with other guys is the ultimate sign of disrespect. Not just to your partner, but also to yourself and the relationship you've built. If you're not happy anymore, if something's missing, why don't you say so? Why do you need to look for it in someone else? It's so hard to trust, and then you'll just break it like that. It's like you built a house and then you're the one tearing it down. So please, if you can't be loyal, just don't get into a relationship. I don't understand the logic, the reason why someone needs to do that. They say, I'm just confused, or we're just friends. Friends? Friends who are holding hands while walking? Friends who say, good morning, babe, and good night, sweet dreams? Come on, let's not fool ourselves here. For me, once you flirt with other guys, the conversation is over. It's a deal breaker, because how can you trust again? How can you believe the next thing she says? A relationship is like a mirror. Once it's broken, you can try to piece it back together, but it will never be the same. There will always be cracks, always a trace of lies. So, that's it, number 1, on my dislike list, someone who doesn't know how to be content with one. Second, when I find out there's a barrier, you know that feeling like something's wrong, like there's a wall between you two, like she's not as open as she used to be, suddenly her phone has a password when it didn't before, suddenly you can't borrow her laptop anymore. Those simple things, those are the barriers. And when there's something hidden, when there's a barrier, for me, love slowly fades away. Because love should be transparent, there should be no secrets, no walls. When you start hiding things, you also start drifting away. And when I feel there's a barrier, automatically, my feelings change too. I don't love her anymore. The magic, the connection disappears. Because how can you be connected if something is separating you? Love turns into doubt. Trust turns into paranoia. Every day you'll wonder, what is she hiding? Or who is she talking to? It's exhausting, isn't it? Instead of nurturing love, you're watering doubt. And in the end, love will die. So for me, when I feel something is being hidden, that's a sign that we need to talk. And if that barrier can't be broken down, maybe it's time to let go. Because love with a wall is like a prison. And I don't want to be imprisoned. This is a bit complicated, but we need to talk about it. It's the situation where she doesn't want me to cheat, she wants a one-on-one relationship, but the truth is, I don't want a one-on-one anymore either. Do you get it? She wants monogamy, But I'm at a point in my life where that just doesn't seem right for me anymore. It's hard when you don't agree on the setup of the relationship, because it's like you're forcing each other into something neither of you truly wants. She wants exclusivity. Me, I might want options? Just kidding. But seriously, this is a clash of values, and when your fundamental beliefs about relationships don't match, it's over. You'll just keep fighting over and over again. She'll get angry because she feels like you're not serious, and you'll get annoyed because you feel suffocated. Nobody wins. You'll both just get hurt. That's why it's really important to be clear from the start. What are we? What are our rules? Because if you force monogamy on someone who no longer believes in it, or vice versa, you're just setting yourselves up for failure. It might be painful, but it's better to break up early than to prolong a relationship that's going nowhere because of a fundamental disagreement. I don't want trouble, so it needs to be clear. The girl who's not over her ex. Oh no, you've already broken up, right? But why is she always talking about him? Why are you always comparing me to him? My ex was like this. When my ex and I were together, it was like that. Girl, hello, I'm right here, present. I'm not a shadow of your past. It's annoying, right? Because how can you be fully present in your new relationship if one foot is still stuck in the past? Guys really hate that, because we feel like we're just placeholders, fillers, rebounds, and nobody wants to feel like that. It's hard to love someone who still loves someone else. It's like joining a contest where someone has already won. No matter how good you are, you'll still lose. And it's exhausting to compete with a ghost from the past that you can't see but is always there. So if you're not over your ex, please, don't get into a new relationship yet. Heal first. Fix your heart first. Because it's not fair to the next person who comes into your life to pick up the broken pieces left by someone else. They deserve to get the whole you, not just half of you because the other half is still with your ex. I prefer someone who isn't argumentative, a calm girl, someone you can talk to properly even when there's a problem, because I don't like drama, I don't like shouting, I don't like scandals. That drains your energy. The type who blows small things out of proportion. The type who thinks it's World War III if you don't reply immediately. I prefer someone who's chill, someone who owns her own peace. Because when a person is at peace with herself, she doesn't easily look for a fight. And often, these types of girls, the ones who have been single for a long time, are the safe type. You know what I mean by safe? The one who doesn't seek validation from a relationship. She's okay even if she's single. She has her own life, her own world. Her universe doesn't revolve around having a boyfriend. These are the types who, when they enter a relationship, it's not because they need it, but because they want it. Because they chose you. That's healthier. No pressure. No unnecessary drama. Because they know you're both whole, even when you're apart. When you're together, that's just a bonus. So yeah, I prefer peace. Not argumentative. Never had a boyfriend before. Single. Safe. It's better to love peacefully. This is a bit R-rated, but we need to be real. One of the things I don't like is someone who isn't good in bed. Oh, don't judge. Let's be adults here. Physical intimacy is an important part of a romantic relationship. It's not the most important, but it is important. It's a way to deepen your connection, and if you're not compatible in bed, that's a big problem. One or both of you might get frustrated, and that frustration can spill over into other aspects of your relationship. You'll become irritable, grumpy. This isn't about being an expert or anything. It's about compatibility, willingness to explore, and communication. It's about knowing what your partner wants and what you want. If one person is like a log, no enthusiasm, or doesn't want to try new things, how will that work? It's like eating your favorite dish, but it always tastes bland. It gets tiring. So yes, directly, compatibility in bed is important to me. It's a form of connection, a language of love. And if we're not speaking the same language there, we'll have a hard time understanding each other. This is a continuation of what we talked about earlier. I want to have many partners. Okay, I'll admit it. I'm at a stage where I want to explore. I want to meet different people. And if a girl wants a one-on-one relationship, it's her fault if she enters this setup with me. I'm clear from the start. I state who I am and what I want. I don't deceive anyone. I lay my cards on the table. If she doesn't like that setup, if she doesn't want to share, then don't. That's her choice. I won't force her. But she also can't force me to change for her. If you don't want to flirt, then don't. If you want someone who's only for you, then go find that person. but that's not me. At least not right now. What I don't like is someone who agrees at the beginning, then in the middle, suddenly complains, suddenly gets angry when she finds out I'm dating someone else. Didn't we talk about this already? That was the deal. That's why honesty and acceptance are important. If you can't accept the terms, don't sign the contract. It might sound painful, but it's more painful when both of you are fooling yourselves and hoping for something that will never happen. You know that anger when trust is broken? Actually, it's not the anger I dislike. It's normal to be angry, right? What I dislike is the truth that once trust is broken, it's incredibly difficult, if not impossible, to get back. Trust is like a very thin glass. One mistake, one fall, and it shatters. And no matter how much you try to piece it back together, glue it, it will never be the same. There will always be a mark, a crack, and that crack, that's the constant reminder of the mistake. That's what will become the source of doubt and paranoia. That's why I'm very careful with someone's trust, and I expect the same from them. Because I know how painful it is when it's broken. Once trust is broken, you'll question everything they say. You'll doubt everything they do. Where are you going? Who are you with? Let me see your phone. You become an investigator in your own relationship. It's exhausting, isn't it? You lose your peace of mind. And a relationship without trust is a relationship built on sand. One wave, and it will collapse. So that's it, broken trust. That's one of the things I fear, and don't want to happen. This is what follows the breaking of trust, the situation where she no longer accepts your apology. You made a mistake, you admitted it, you sincerely asked for forgiveness, but her door is already closed, she can no longer forgive. And when that happens, your love is truly broken. Because forgiveness is an important ingredient for a relationship to work. No one is perfect. We all make mistakes. And if for one mistake, she can no longer forgive you, how can you continue? How will you fix the next problems that come? What I dislike is being unforgiving. Holding a grudge. No matter what you do to make up for it, it's over. Her heart has turned to stone. I understand if she needs space, she needs time. But if her decision not to forgive you is final, the game is over. You can't do anything but accept that. Because love isn't just about happiness and excitement, it's also about understanding and forgiveness during times of mistakes. If one is missing, the love isn't complete. And an apology that is no longer accepted, that's the final nail in the coffin of a relationship. This is the conclusion of everything we've talked about, the constant divorces. Okay, we don't have divorce in the Philippines, but the concept, the constant breakups, getting into a relationship, then with just a small problem, breaking up immediately. It's like there's no effort to fix things. If you don't want to cheat, but at the same time you also don't want to be loyal to a one-on-one relationship, what do you really want? If you're not sure what you want, then don't. Don't drag others into it. Don't enter a commitment that you can't uphold. The cycle of breakups and makeups is tiring. The lack of stability is tiring. A relationship is like climbing a mountain. It's hard, exhausting, with many challenges. But if both of you are determined to reach the top, you'll help each other. Not just give up after a little fatigue. If you can't be loyal, if you can't stand by what you've entered, then don't force it. Because in the end, you'll both just get hurt. And it will just lead to a divorce or separation filled with resentment. It's better to be alone than to be in a relationship without certainty and loyalty. There you have it. Our list is complete. The 10 things I don't like in a girl. It's a bit heavy, a bit frank, but that's the truth for me. Remember, this is based on my personal views and experiences. This is not a law, it's not a universal truth. These are just the things I've learned to avoid, to protect my own peace and happiness. We all have our own preferences and deal breakers, and it's important for us to know those, so they can guide us in choosing the people we let into our lives. I hope you learned something, or at least I made you think. My point here is simply the importance of self-awareness and honesty. Know what you want and what you don't want. And be honest about it, not just to other people, but especially to yourself. Don't force something you know isn't for you. Don't settle for less than what you deserve. And most importantly, don't be afraid to be alone if the trade-off is your peace of mind. Love should add to your life, not become a source of stress and trouble. And before we end, I also want to hear your side. Those are the things I really don't like. What about you? What do you dislike? Comment below. Whether you're a guy or a girl, what are your top deal breakers in a relationship? Let's have a healthy discussion. Who knows, we might learn from each other. Until next time, my rage mates, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Goodbye.